Join our challenges. The signal passed.
Did I lock my screen? Oh no. I hope not. Nah. Doubt anybody is watching right now. Everybody's probably finishing their day at work. I am trying to put my board back together. So I figured, why not do it live? Hold me accountable to keep me from throwing bad power supplies across the room, right? So let me make sure this stuff works. But here's the mess. Here's the mess. Here's the mess. Oh my goodness. I have a mess of cables. I have a mess of cables. I have a mess of pedals. I have a mess. Also have like my messy desk that I showed you guys yesterday. Being funny and all about the Where's Waldo kind of joke I did. But here we are. This is actually number 2. I had to buy a second one because this was the one during the 5 pedal challenge. And I know it's dark in here, guys. I'm going to have to throw some light. But that was my first one. This is my second one. I actually have 14 outlets now. Thank God everything I have is actually 9 volt. But now I got to match the rating for all the milliamps. Because I think I only get 100 and 1 300 on each. So I only get 2 300 millis on these. So even though they're cost effective, and this is getting me by in a pinch, this is a very low budget. It's also a low milli. So I'm gonna be ticking away, trying to talk at the same time, trying to build this board and try to watch comments at the same time. But you guys hold me accountable. You'll hear some MTV's actually playing videos, but it's all like rap and all that stuff, so I'm just kind of used to listening to it in the background anyways. It's usually Rob Deerdeck the whole time, but you'll hear me talking. So I have the bottom tier done. Bottom tier looks like this right now. Bottom tier, I had to make some sacrifices. Rotate my phone. Okay, excuse me, Mr. Phone. So bottom tier, that's reversed. Excuse me while I'm left to right. So going SP first. Come here, camera. SP first. Going to my tuner. Going to my octaver. From my octaver, I'm actually jumping ship, and I'm running this little jumper to the top tray to my fuzzy fox, and then back from the fuzzy fox to the Vox Wah. So my Vox Wah, got my little chomper buddy from Ghostbusters here. Watch this guy. Ugh. Don't know if y'all remember Kenner toys, but that's all he does. He's actually my cable management. So that's kind of the fun part, but that's my Vox Wah. Going from Vox Wah, I'm going to my Duelist, then the Shroot, and then my Terraforms, where it really splits out for my like wet dry stuff. So right now, just working on getting this done. And I know you guys are probably working and whatnot, but I'm just on here putting it on a live so I can get this build done. Yesterday, I was trying to sort out why I wasn't getting power to my board. And the reason why I was not getting power, I thought it was like a cable issue. But then after I noticed something wasn't right, I'm like, half my pedals aren't even on. And then after I figured out half my pedals weren't even turning on, because normally I just run like an overdrive and whatever modulation. But I was in a panic. And that panic grew very quickly. I started tearing my board apart. I'm like, oh no. So I started trying the different jacks and everything to make sure my pedals weren't burnt in some form or another. And also trying to figure out like what actually happened. Was it the power supply? Did I get enough? Did I make sure I matched everything? Which I thought I did when I originally built it. and it hasn't changed. And I've gigged with it for like 4 months, and pretty much the same condition with just minor changes between different overdrive and fuzz pedals, like everybody else. And then next thing I know, I realized that whole power supply, only half of it was running. So now I just got to redo everything. But with the 5 pedal challenge, it's actually challenged me. It's challenged me to see if that less is more is really a thing. It's challenging me to run less pedals. I usually think more is more, but I need to use more in a song if I'm going to do that. And I like to try to bring what comes to a song. Usually the tones, if it's especially if it's a cover tune, try to recreate those original tones, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever tones that are out there. I feel like I have kind of like every color under the sun as much as possible. Try to rid myself of duplicates. Some things, they're too mid-humped. I try not to fight so much with symmetrical and asymmetrical. Just kind of think Tube Screamer. It's about 90% of what most recordings were done if it had that kind of mid-hump. Using that Blues Breaker side a lot. That's usually my grit, I would say. So that Duelist does a lot for me. If I need something grittier, I've been trying different distortions. Really landed on this Shroot. I know it's a biased pedal that Justice has made, and he's making some very good crushing pedals actually. So between fuzz and distortions, he's kind of the guy as far as the high gain stuff. He's doing really good. There's some more boutique guys out there like Park, who's making a killer distortion pedal. The Nerta and moving on to others, but you got Danny, who's also making the noise pollution stuff, and it's a lot of those are shredders too. I just needed to land on one in order to kind of get by with the gigs and stuff. So I really jumped on the deal with the Shroot, and I've really just taken a liking to it. It's got high headroom, so that's the other plus, is I can dial that in if I need more oomph to my amp when it comes to high gain. Just trying to figure out a solo boost. For a while I was running this guy here. This guy was like an overall clean tone for me. It buffers great with everything, matched and paired with the wah and other fuzzes. It was kind of a control box for all my gain, so it really leveled out my gain structure. But I'm actually taking him off the board. I'm kind of sad about that, but I was trying to do less pedals and try to think more what I needed to do. I know I'm talking more about like my tone and stuff. I really need to get these cables plugged in, but figured I would do this on a live, and I'm already running like 10-15 minutes or something like that, but it's getting crazy up in here already. And if you hear all the noise in the background, that's, like I said, that's just MTV playing videos I'm not even paying attention to. Alright, so trying to get power to everything. Looks like I have cables ran for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pedals already. I am aware that all of these are 9-volt. I need to see if any of these are really like 300 milli, and I think the only one is the Terraform. And with that Terraform, I really need to know if I can run it on the same supply, or do I need to try to isolate it to the other supply, since I have now 2 supplies. Alright, and then I'm trying to do some cable management. This is a mess. It's literally like a nightmare. But we'll just keep plugging away here. Let me get some of my other tools real quick. I have literally a pedal board bag for pedal board parts, and that's like, this whole thing is like my first aid kit, and it's literally a Roadrunner pedal board bag. Get my tools out of here, get my other supplies, and then I just kind of ziplock stuff that are like items together. That's usually like my organization. I know guys have bins for stuff like this, but you got bins like this. You got like my soldering iron. Got like these craft kits that a lot of guys use. So this is going to be my challenge for today, is to get everything powered, planned back out, test signals. I'm pretty sure my cables were good. It was just the power supply that took a dump on me, and now I got to do this whole replacement thing. So I'm going to just start working away at it. And right now, working on where I'm going to plan to put the second power supply. It takes up some space, so. Ugh. Boy, this is a chore. I don't want to say I was pulling my hair out yesterday, but it was very frustrating trying to diagnose everything. And then even with that diagnosis, I needed to make sure that that's exactly 100% was the power supply. So it was heartbreaking. That was for sure. All right, let me see if I can get enough juice and enough pedalboard tape going here. And we'll just get the number of things I gotta do down. Let's just work on mounting the second power supply first. And then I'll start routing the cables for the bottom tier. And then plan to do the top tier next. And then plan to pretty much test everything. So, but all the background noise you're hearing is the daycare. That's way down the other end of the hall. Pay no attention. They're usually rowdy after nap, and that's usually a rough time for a lot of these guys when they wake up from their nap, usually not knowing where they're at. So, my apologies for the extra noise. And then we're going to mount some of the hook side on the bottom of this power supply so I can mount it to the board. Should think if I actually face, that's a good discussion. Should I face the cables in a way where I can access the cables, plug them, unplug them? That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. And I felt like I've done this 1,000 times, never had to say it out loud kind of thing. So even with moving everything, are all my cables long enough to reach where I need to go? That's a key to the build, I would say. Alright, and with that, we are moving along. So I know you guys can't see my board because I only got one camera rolling, but what I'm working on now, if I can turn it down to where I'm working, is right here. Okay, so right now I kind of have a place where I tried plugging in everything. I need to find where Terraform's at. I think that's what's my shortcoming on that cable. Everything else, if I can get it to reach, see if I can face them towards one another, and maybe I can get more space going here for myself underneath the board. It's not going to take up the whole thing, I don't think. These are top tier. I'll just slide them back out of the way. Alright, now the plan where to put the bottom side. This is not going to be a short video, so if you're just hopping on, this is something that I spent 4 hours yesterday trying to troubleshoot. I don't plan on spending 4 hours on it today, but I was just trying to broadcast so it can help my nerves a bit, keep me accountable, keep me straight on I would say mental health. That is something everybody is focusing on these days. So a big key to mental health is taking the small breaks when you realize that when it's anger or sad or whatever emotion you really getting overwhelmed, take a moment. Look at something else. Find yourself a way to ground yourself. And I would say ground yourself by, if you have to walk outside and get some fresh air, try to find a cloud in the air and just take in that moment. Take in that moment for 1 second. Enjoy that moment. Take a deep breath, count to 10. And that usually helps. Alright, so prong's not fitting. Alright, that's always the fun part, is trying to figure out which way's top side on the, okay. There we go. Alright, so supply 1 and 2 is plugged in the plug. Now I just got to be able to route cables where they actually make sense and actually fit. I had everything planned out for my original power supply, and now everything's just, for me is on the go. It's all temporary anyways. So we're just trying to get that plugged in. Alright, and number of pedals that are plugged in over here. I don't think they're gonna reach the first tier. I don't think all the first tier is gonna reach is what I'm getting at. Alright, second tier, that can go on the second power supply, I guess. And we'll just plan on how we had everything routed from the bottom tier on just moving it over. Was this the Terraform? Terraform's the only one that was 300 milliamps, and we're running that to the 300 milliamp bracket. And do I have enough space? That's the other thing, is planning your board. They got pedalboard planner like an app. They got pretty much every board on the planet, and can lay out a nano board, any pedal train, things like that. What I have is a custom pedal board, and I like custom stuff and try to tailor it to what I like. But this pedal board is special to me because it was built by Jason Melton, and we mulled over this idea for like 2 months. Something that I can gig with and something that I can take around with me. And I didn't want to just throw a flat pedal board like in the back of the car and let it roll around with my pedals. I really thought about it, and we thought about doing that and a speaker cabinet. So what we made was what you see in my pictures today, is that pedal board cabinet. And that pedal board cabinet is what kind of put me on the map on the internet and started this whole, I don't want to say fantasy world, but kind of second lifestyle of being a gearhead, and connecting with all you folks here on Signal Path. So that's kind of the start of it. I was already kind of a gearhead already. I was just kind of more introverted, and I was trying to work on my presentation skills and my people skills and stuff like that, because I normally work at a desk and kind of just like to be the mad scientist behind the curtain and not really bother anybody. But that changed and turned into the limelight, which I'm not arguing about, but is considerably taking a lot of time to overcome my fear of public speaking and try to improve my skills on a lot of things, really. Video editing, and then hanging out with all you guys, trying to come up with challenges all the time, trying to find games, things to entertain everybody, keep everybody interested. More or less just trying to make a place where everybody is in a comfort zone where we could talk about gear and pretty much just have fun. I would say it's off the clock. You know, nobody's really getting paid to come up with all these ideas and that kind of stuff. I know it's a lot of business for the small builders, and those guys are usually in the forums and everything, trying to improve their circuits and improve their builds. So they're usually hanging out in the DIYs and stuff like that. For me, I wanted to build this page just kind of for pedal boards itself, but I really turned it into pretty much anything gear related that would help the next guy, and that's been my focus for quite some time. Alright, everything on the bottom tier. This is all going to be crooked, but I'm just going to have to live with it. Like I said, this is going to be my temporary mess for now. And all I'm trying to do is just get rid of some of the excess cable, because none of this is cut to length. This is just, like I said, temporary fix. So let's keep it all going here. Alright. I'm going to have to wire some power eventually. Is this my wah? I think so. So for this guy, alright, and then also for this guy, a lot of extra cable here, so we're just kind of tuck and roll. I'll go back with the bread ties later and kind of neaten it up a bit. What we got left here, some more extra. We'll just go here. Just trying to find space for everything. That's the fun part. Alright, we're not so far here. We can actually just plug in there. Alright, and then let me see if I have a couple extra usually sitting here. Usually a little bit more organized, but I really trashed my board yesterday, tearing everything apart. excuse the mess. You know what? I always said this. To clean a mess, you kind of have to make a mess to clean a mess. You have to pull everything out. You have to sort it and put everything back where it should go. So that's usually my philosophy on messes. You usually have to make a mess to clean a mess. So just bear with the small mess. And plug away at it. Can't do everything at once. So when you take small steps, those small steps make bigger steps. And the bigger steps will achieve your goals. Alright, another mental health note. So, grounding myself real quick. Just taking a look at the ceiling fan for a second. Counting to 10. Something like that. 2, 3, 4. And just exhale. Alright. That helps me get over the anxiety. I know that this is, if people are OCD, that this is not straight. It's going underneath the lid for a while, and it's going to be temporary. So I have to tell myself that in order to achieve my long-term goal of getting a real reliable power supply unit. These Hyries are pretty reliable. I just wanted something that's more tour-friendly, that kind of thing. So I got to do more research. Looks like I need some more cables. So find some shorter cables here. It's literally the shortest cable. And then I have filled up my first power supply. And that's with 8 devices. So once we have 8 devices here. Alright, come on, guy. Plug me in. Maybe I could just do this angle. There we go. And then everything here. Gonna need another cable tie anyways. Alright. Just want to do a sanity check on the power, so bear with me. I gotta plug into the wall. Ugh. Over here. Give me some power. Alright. Sanity check number 1. So, Terraform's got power. Shroot. Duelist. October. Tuner. Comp. Alright, so I can actually start on the top tier. But before I kind of close this up, I really want to work on the cable management. I'm going to need some bread ties. So with everything that I got going on here, let me see if I got some bread ties that are sitting just adjacent to everything I was building. Yep. Yep, so we're going to button down some of this. I know it's all temporary, guys. It's all just temporary, so as long as I get sound at the end of this video, I'll be fine and happy. I know everything's not going to be perfect and straight and all those nice, neat cable lays and that kind of thing, but I got to get this thing running. It's driving my nerves already. Alright, some more cable ties. Got all my extra cables, so let's find out if I have some more cable ties somewhere. And it looks like some of these. Nope, that's a daisy. I don't want that. Randomly. Zoom 505, like, just randomly sitting there. Alright. And let me see if I can get these cable ties again. So, that's just my organization. So, these are my scratch cables. A lot of extra parts here. Converters. Old ISO power supplies. That kind of thing. So, I know a lot of guys that have a True Tone, but I think this is a visual sound one spot. Look at that. That's how old that is. It says visual sound. Check that out. So, no cable ties in there. Oh yeah, Altoids 10. Did I put a couple in there? No, I used them all. Well, this is fun. So, all I'm trying to do is just find something that can tie these cables up. And I think I'm going to have to reuse some items. Probably boring everybody to death, but for me, this is just, like I said, I made this live so I can kind of keep my sanity check, keep my calm, keep my nerves, that kind of stuff. Try to help the next guy. Power is important. Power is so important, and it has to pretty much become the first thing of your pedals. Really, the first thing in your pedal chain is electricity. And that's why I'm talking about it today. Alright. The only thing I can't test is the wall. There's no LED indicator. That'll have to be a manual check once I get everything together. Alright, 2 up top. Got a fuzz. Got a modulation. Got 2 modulations. Ooh, I didn't think about that. And then I did not think about the 5mm. That's the other thing I didn't think about. That takes 500 milliamps. That's gonna wreck my day. I didn't think about this in advance, but I can't even run the thing that's gonna be my second amp unless I find the original Electro Harmonix box. So let me see if I can find the box. That's gonna be fun. I'm just gonna take this with me. Man, I hope I have the box. I have that box somewhere in here. There it is, 5mm. Yeah, look at all that. Talking about he has the box. That's the box I'm looking for. I'm hoping that power supply's in there. Please be in here. Nope. There's nothing in there. Oh no. Yeah, this is not fun. Wait, there's a tiny yellow sliver or something in there. Did I pull this box out? What was in here? It's the little box that's supposed to have the power supply, and I don't know what I did with it. That is a nightmare. All right, let me read the book. It's definitely 500 milliamps. Let me see if I got another 9-volt power supply that's sufficient. We're going to have to isolate this to maybe that visual sound that I just saw a second ago. So that's going to be the fun part. All right. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Thanks, Bear Grylls, for being such a true adventurer. All right. So, again, look at that. 500 milliamps at 9 volts. I know everything is 9 volt. Everything's at 9 volt. Now, if I could find the appropriate adapter. 500 milliamp. You know what? This is actually the adapter for it. It was supposed to be in that little white box, but I must have borrowed it at one point. Alright, so let's try to see if I can improvise this again. Alright, board shot. Alright, we got power now. We're gonna get power here in a second when I unplug it. Oh, this is backwards. Yep, let's try this all over again. Let's just move everything down. So this is like a little mini drop cord that's just basically cut the length for underneath the board. Let's see if I can power up. This is not gonna be pretty at all. It's just gotta be functional. That's all I'm asking. Just please be functional. That's all I need. I don't need pretty for today. I need to be able to get my board back together. Probably should speed this up if I ever do a video edit and put this on YouTube. This will be the part to be like zip, 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 zip. Really fast in a hurry. I'm hoping I can actually download this. I'll do that later, but alright, another zip tie again. Yeah, alright. What we need to do is we really need to test the power on it first to make sure I have no battery, so I better hurry up then. Look at that. Isolated power to my 5mm. Hopefully this thing won't hum and ding and all that. We'll just do that for now. I am having a moment here. Again, when you get overwhelmed, just take a second, stop, breathe, count to 10, it'll be just fine. Alright, so I know mental health is a topic these days. It's hard to practice. I know everybody gets in a moment and they'll just freak out. Says chic, and we're not playing disco, we're playing with pedals. So, like I said, find the placement on this guy. I got 2 pedals up top that required an adapter. I actually got a 3rd one that I was going to put on there. So this is the fun part. I won't be able to open the lid on the frontward. Got 1, 2, 3, and maybe I can squeeze this guy. Yep. And just get my bearings straight here. Alright, I only got 3 more pedals to plug in, and then we're done. And we're done. Alright, that's already taken. And is this one taken? It is not taken. That one does not turn off, technically. Alright. Like I said, not everything's going to be pretty. And hopefully I can just plug the guitar in and we'll have a go. Alright. Everything is plugged in. Just need to get it all patched up. What is keeping me from shutting the door? Nothing. Alright. Just need to be able to patch from the Terraform. You won't see it. Need to patch from my stereo out on the Terraform. Need to get to the Station 8. Here, let me show this a little better. Need to get from here, to here, and then to here, and then to here. So that's literally my 2nd amp. Boy, that is the challenge. So let me just knock this out. Shouldn't take me long at all. Oh, I still got my tap tempo I gotta wire up too. We're having fun with this, right, guys? This has been quite a challenge. I know I don't have the video equipment. I know I have the potato quality iPhone, Facebook Live, normal kind of stuff that people would use. But guess what? I'm just a regular guy. I usually just tell people I'm a weirdo on the internet like everybody else, and just leave it at that. So we all have our things to deal with. Alright, 2 patch cables to go from there to there. Go to the input, the back of the. Alright. This is fun. This is the fun part. It's plugged in, yeah. That's the point. Alright, that's plugged in. That's plugged in. We need a long cable. Ernie ball flat. This one's a 12-inch. Is that overkill? Didn't I have a... Nope, that's not a 12-inch. That's only a 6-inch. World's best cable. I had a ridiculously long world's best cable. Now I'm being picky. So if I'm being picky, just give me a second here while I be picky and try to find that really long world's best patch cable that I had. There's a whole bag of stuff. All I have to do is see that gold plug, and I feel like that's probably the one. Nope. No, not in there. So what did I do with that world's best cable? It's like 900 feet long, it seems like. Is this the guy? Nope, he's not 12 inch. He's only 6-inch cable. He will not reach. We're gonna have to use this Ernie ball flat, so the reason why I'm griping a little bit is because of the tone loss, but we're dealing with modulation. And that tone is only for the modulation. I will be losing, we'll not be losing a whole lot of anything else, honestly. It's literally on the delay repeats on the one stereo side for the swirls, the different modulations I use it. They're more swirly, like chorus and flanger and stuff like that. So I'm going left and right. It's kind of why I like having my rig stand straight up in the air, because it's not really left and right, it's top and bottom. And then this is the fun part, getting everything to fit. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing here. It's not really helping the video, but really just trying to overcome this challenge for today and get my rig back and operating. Alright, so once I get grabbing my cable here we go. So I have my stereo cables. I gotta plug in my amp, and I gotta plug in my speaker cabinet. So this is what makes it fancy stereo, because we're going to the Terraform. We're going out of the Terraform on the stereo side. This is what goes to my dry amp. What I mean by dry amp, that's what goes into my tube amp. And then my other side goes to the 5mm, and that's what powers this is what's powering my pedal board cabinet. And the reason why chicken head's on it, so I can actually kick it with my foot if I need a little bit more volume. Now I got to sort out the cables that I have here. And Rattlesnake dry amp goes into the Hot Rod Deluxe. So that's top of the amp. It's coming off the Terraform. This other side is the speaker jack for the cabinet. So that's my 212s. That's usually what's running there. Alright, let me see if I can find me a guitar real quick. We'll just pick one of these two that are in camera. Probably go with this guy. Actually, I needed to pick. Totally unprepared for this. That's only because in a 24-hour period I discovered I had a problem with my rig. Am I connected to my wireless? That is a good question. That is a good question. So now this is the fun part. Alright, going to the SP. The SP's out to the tuner. Hey, tuner works. Let me see if I can turn this camera around live, or is it gonna let me do that? Yeah, that's the fun stuff. So that's really what y'all needed to see. It's kind of what I'm looking at too. All right, so tuner has something going on here. One second, because I don't like being out of tune to demonstrate either. A little intonation out. Alright, so that's how that polytune works. It should be out from there. And out from the polytune. What did we go to? This guy. So that's power out to this guy, into this guy, out from here to the wah pedal, I'm not hearing anything there. From the wah to the duelist. Silly me, you don't have a patch cable from here to here. I actually just seen it. I actually don't have a patch cable into my 5mm. That's why I'm not hearing the whole pass through. So that's usually my last line of defense. If I can just get the board. There we go. So I only need a short patch. Get this pancake in there. Yes. Alright. Turn all the drives off so we don't make a hiss and hum and all that stuff. Hey, got a signal. Alright, wall works. Okay, so that is plugged in. It sounds very honky. Alright, that's just bass tone. I'm on the neck. Alright, let's cut on my main amp. Oop, got to plug in the amp. That would have been nice first to know that my amp was unplugged. Everything's passing through, you're only hearing the bottom cabinet. Now tubes have to warm up on the top amp. There we go. You hear the reverb? That's the top amp. So that's all I'm getting at. Now I need to pretty much do a signal check. Probably not gig volume. Probably not gig volume. So let's see. Alright, so what I'm running right now is the Terraform, just to kind of hear something in stereo. Yep, I'm getting everything in stereo, so that's good. Alright, so last line was to check. Yep. Alright, so that works. Sounds like all my modulation's working. So it sounds like all my modulation's working. I'll get back on that. All of the reverbs and repeats and all this stuff. So that's the modulation. Let's go to the drive side because I probably didn't cover that enough. Alright, we're good there. Sounds like all my drives working. Alright, everything's working. So kind of glad to get this whole thing back together. And want to just take the time to thank everybody that joined me for the shenanigans today, just trying to get my board back together. It was crazy. Just wanted to say that. And I knew that face filter was on. Crazy. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me, being patient, listening to all my woes, and sorrows. So, anyways, I was just being funny. And nice chat with everyone today. And enjoy the rest of your day.